Hi, everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on the time zone you're joining us from. Today, I'm so excited to be hosting another edition on Microsoft Power Tools, which is my YouTube channel dedicated to everything around automation, analytics, and productivity. It is really exciting to see how technology is shaping the entire world and how it is also creating opportunities for loads of people. We have a very important topic to discuss today, and that is about low code, no code. However, I'm featuring a guest that you all will be excited to meet. Personally, I look forward to this session, and I'm definitely going to go through this over and over again. So, just before I introduce my guest and talk about what we will be sharing today, I want you to know that we got the parent consent, and at the point in time the father will also be featuring on this channel today, just so that he can also speak to some of the questions that we have. I know you will have loads of questions, so feel free to use the comment section to drop your questions on YouTube. We'll check through them and also call out those questions. And feel free to share this directly now with your friends, with parents. In fact, parents, it's cut across all age groups: parents, teenagers, even adults, uncle, brother, sister, siblings. Share with them. Let everybody come as a family and have this session together. Right now, I'm going to be introducing probably the world most youngest Power Platform and Azure AI certified. I mean, it's really impressive. We will get to hear from him. Permit me as I make welcome Pranav Khurana on the show today. Hi,
Hello,
Pranav.
thank you for having me here today, Olan Ruhaji.
Wow. I mean, the way you even pronounce my name was so perfect. 10 over 10 for getting, for getting the pronunciation. How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Thanks for for honoring this show, and thanks to your parents also for giving their consent and for allowing you to feature here. So without wasting time, I would like to go straight to our first question, which is about introduction, getting to know you. So I'm expecting can tell us a bit about yourself.
So, I'm Pranav Khurana. I'm Power Platform certified at age of 7 and Azure AI certified at the age of 8. In school, I am the top coder and I'm the first ever recipient of the Computing Cup. And then outside of tech, I love sport, cricket, hockey. I love subjects like maths, geography, and yeah, that's about me.
Wow, that's interesting. I mean, I love this concise introduction of yourself, and kept making me to ask myself that do I have this level of passion and interest in sports the way you have it while I was still at your age? I mean, I'm not quite sure I am. So, do you like sports like football?
Not a great football player. I'm more of a keen cricket, hockey person.
Hmm,
Football, rugby are not my
interesting.
thing. Definitely not.
Interesting, interesting. Oh, okay. Let's move to the next question. Briefly, how did you discover Power Platform?
So when I was 5 years old, it all started when my dad used to work on Dynamics, and then he kept on teaching me loads of little bits about entity relationships. And one day at the lunch table, I said to him, "You know, Miss Rabbit from Peppa Pig has a one to many relationship because she's got many jobs." But the real learning journey began during the lockdown when we were looking through the Google Photos app, and I love watching my old photos. So he said, "Pranav, do you want to build an app for your old photos?" And I said, "Ooh, yes, please." So we started building, and then I had fun, and I kept on going with the Power Platform.
Wow. This, to be very honest, this is really exciting. And I'm just looking at it this way. At the age of 5, your father got started introducing you to entity relationship, and the way you even interpreted the relationship by making an example of someone who has about 5 jobs, so meaning that's one to many relationship. That's so awesome and cool. and how that transition to having an idea. Do you want to what you love doing? Do you want to build a solution around it? You like watching your old videos or old photos. Then you want to build an app to visualize that. I love the integration. And when we get to your father, I would like to hear more about the framework. I mean, it seems there are a lot of work that has been done at the back end, but I'm so happy the way you were able to embrace this and move on from there. Cool. So right now I'm going to move to the next question, which is what were your most interesting solutions?
So once in the community call back in February, I presented a Christmas good deeds app. So have you ever had the problem where like your Christmas wishes just don't come true for God knows what reason it might be? I created an app that's beneficial, solves the problem for kids, and also good for parents. So so for every good deed they do that's approved by parents, they get a good deed point, and they can spend those good deed points on wishes. And I've actually got it to showcase here. I'll just share my screen. Share screen.
Yeah. Wow, this is really exciting for me that you've gamified parent relationship. I'm just going to push that to the screen right now. Wow.
So
Wow, this
this is
is so
my
cool.
app. So you can see two sections: good deeds. So this is where you put in all your good deeds. I just
Oh,
done a few default ones during my um, demo at
wow.
the community
This
call. So and then so here's the status: submitted, approved, and approved. So if it's approved, then you get good deed points. And in the reward section, if you have 0, then you get this. But if you get 1, uh, so you basically get a nice golden button. You can click on it. Then it takes you to another form. I'll just go into the good deeds form. It's like this, but just with one field. Make a wish. And like add any extra details, like the description of a product in there. And here I used Power Automate SharePoint as a data source to store the good deeds and um, the record for the points. I used Outlook for the approvals, like the email for the approval, so that parents can approve, and then Santa can check the good deeds, and then Power Apps for building the app itself.
this is This is so cool. Indeed, it is interesting because it relates to even, families, it relates to kids, what they do at home, and it can actually keep the bond of relationship and love within family because children knows now that when I do what I need to do, you gamified, training, home training. When I need to do what I should do, I get reward for that. And because it's gamified, they're excited about the points they will earn. This is really creative and is an exciting solution. If I may ask, have you put this in the Power Platform sample, online, this kind of solution?
Sorry?
Do you have this solution published online, like so that someone can also take idea from?
Like on a GitHub repository or something.
Yes, yes.
I might have put it on the Power App for Kids, but I don't remember. It's been a
Um,
bit of time now
okay,
since I built.
okay, cool. All right. So in case you're just joining us, please do pass your questions in the comment section and also share this with parents, wherever all those platforms we have access to. This session is really covering everything. It's low code power platform as a teenagers, and Pranav is here with us. Pranav Khurana, who is sharing his experience. He's 9, and even most of the things he has done, and when he started his journey far back when he was still 5 years old, got certified at the age of 7, the second certification at the age of 8, and I'm kind of so impressed and happy about his growth and journey. And we have his friends' consent to actually have him on the live session today to share some of these things. We're going to move quickly to the next question that we have here, which is about learning challenges. Yes, you've learned a couple of things, you've built solutions. There are definitely challenges. So, what were the challenges that you faced?
Hmm. Well, I think one of the challenges was with the help. Like, you don't necessarily need to do all the things by yourself. There's no harm in getting help from whoever it is that might be available on that topic to help. In my case, my father, and then for that good deeds app that I was showcasing just now, with the Power Automate, because it was pretty difficult with variables and stuff. So we got my dad's friend to do it. So we took help from him. And then in general, there's always the wider community, Power Platform community, because that's what they're there for, to help other people. And ideas for creating the apps. So there's of course going to be some times when you get a blank canvas, you look into it and then you don't actually know what you're going to build, so you can't start. So to get the idea, you can it doesn't have to be you who generates it. It could again be, well, it could solve a purpose, something that someone else might like, or it might be something generated by family that they might like. And well, another learning challenge, Microsoft Learn. God, they're really long. The modules, too long to read
I
still.
see.
But there is a way around that in the Edge browser using the read aloud feature.
Thank you for sharing that. I mean, there are lots to pick from what you've shared. First, seeking for help. You don't have to do everything all by yourself. You will face those challenges that you need help, but if you think you can proceed until you are able to solve it, you might not be able to solve it at that point in time. So reach out and seek help. Seek help from community members, and that is what the communities are there for. Be part of the community, leverage the community to answer your own question. You also mentioned the place of documentation, Microsoft Learn like a resource. Yeah, it could be long because we want it to be
But
detailed
it's
so that
insightful.
people get through. Yeah, and again, a cool thing about Microsoft Edge as a browser is you can use the read loud feature where you just turn that reading content to an audio thing that you can actually listen to and move on. So, and that is so cool. Thanks for sharing with us. There were challenges, but you were creative with leveraging community and also using the tools around you to move across them. Soon, I'm going to be asking a question that speaks to your father or your parents. That how can parents support their kids to learn Power Platform? But before I ask that, I will like to ask about very important thing. You're a student, so how did you balance these learning activity with your school activities?
Well, it was actually pretty easy. So during my school term, I come back in the evening, maybe learn a few things about a new feature, or maybe there's a webinar on. So I attend that with my dad in the evening. But I utilize my holidays as a time to get hands on practice with all the things I've been learning, and maybe even learn even more things and try them as well.
Oh, I mean, that is so great. I
So
love the fact that you did not disconnect. So there was no time where you disconnect yourself from learning. I mean, even though it is school time, you don't do that much of learning, but you make sure that even if it is 15 minutes to catch up on things or attend webinar with your dad, you still do something like that. That's great. Okay, I'm going to speak to we almost, I mean, because we don't want to drag the session too long. This is really so interesting because we're going to find ways to broadcast this and promote this more and more to reach wider audience. And I want to keep it as brief as possible. The next is how can parents support their kids to learn Power Platform? take for example this part of Africa, we don't have enough kids that are even aware of this kind of possibilities. And I know that it starts with your parents. They were the one who introduced you to this tool. And permit me to bring on board now your parent to talk to us. How can parents support their kids to learn Power Platform? Hi, Gushan.
Hello, how are you?
I'm so happy. Thank you very much, for coming again and for the consent and the support. It's so cool to have two of you on the screen. I call you Power Platform Heroes, and I'm so happy. So we've been having quite an interesting session with Pranav, for the past 15 minutes, talking us through a lot of things that we gained a lot. And these are investments, these were a result of your early investment as a parent. And I would like you to briefly tell us how can other parents, support their kids to learn Power Platform? What were the framework? What were the idea, when you all start?
I think I've been following the questions by the users here as well, or the audience that are watching. How do you generate ideas to work on? I think that's where parents can come in, and you don't need to be technical about it, right? So we parents, we have life experience behind us, so we know the real life challenges, the problems, and we can perhaps think of ideas where maybe a sort of challenge we can present it to the kids. Say, look, this is what the challenge is. Is that something that you can resolve with Power Platform, for example? Or can you make an app about it? Now, the parents need not be technical, but they can be like a user. They just, stating user pains, user requirements, and then it is up to the future generation to come up with the ideas and how they can then come up with something that actually solves that problem. So thinking about the ideas is where the parents can come in. And for those parents who come from technical background, uh, the way they can help is, well, they can be supportive and encouraging, and they can provide the infrastructure that is needed, i.e., let's say setting up the developer program for the kids. So providing them the infrastructure, the toys. Once they are in front of them, the kids will play. So that's the thing, and they can be like a coach and a mentor, and perhaps the next level troubleshooter if somebody's stuck, perhaps helping them with a bit of expression with a Power Automate, for example. But again, like I said, not everyone's parents may be technical, so what every parent can do is to provide encouragement and support, give them some ideas and some challenges to solve. And I think that would keep the children interested in the technology and then find purpose behind building those apps.
Thank you very much for sharing this. And that reminds me, you mentioned something. I watched your Scottish submission, your session at the Scottish Summit. You mentioned a framework that I would like you to maybe talk through three of them. It's a sales conversion framework, and you said that's a similar thing that you did when introducing keys to learn the tool. Can you mention those three topics? Or I think there are three in terms of the framework, but you can just
So
share
I
something with us.
Yeah, I think that was targeted towards people, how to get kids interested in technology. I mean, right now in this session, I think we are presenting to the audience that are already interested, and that's the reason why they're here, right? But for those, who may not have yet started their journey, I think it's a selling process. You need to sell the idea, you need to sell the concept to the kids, and the only way, in my opinion, is that you can relate it to the fun and challenging something that is relatable to them. So once, and that's what I did with Pranav. He liked watching his baby pictures on Google Photos, so I asked him to build an app that did the same, and he was hooked. Right? He loved work doing quizzes, and he loved flags. We had a game at home, the card game, Flags of the World. So I said, well, could you please, would you like to build an app regarding that? And he did that. So I always kept it relatable. I kept giving him the ideas that he could work on, which I knew he would be interested in. Now that reminds me of another colleague, another community member I was talking to last week. He has a son 10 years old, and he's also into programming and stuff. So this dad gave him the task of isolating attachments from the email and uploading onto a new folder, create a folder and upload it to SharePoint. Uh, Although the kid did it, but he soon gave up, said, no, it's not fun, right? So I think that was the moment, that, was lost. Had it been put as a perhaps a challenge or somehow related to fun, I think the selling process would have been complete. Here, the selling did not happen, although the child did what he was asked to do, but the idea was not bought. So to keep it interesting for the next generation, I think they need to find it that it needs to be relatable. Yes, Power Platform is for solving complex business problems, automating tasks and everything. But I think that can come later on once they start their professional life. Yeah. But to begin with, to keep the interest going, I think adding the fun element and the challenge element and keeping it one notch at a time. So maybe build one app, next version, add something else to it. So keep adding the ingredients, and soon you will have a nice proper app. For example, we are just these days we are working on a magic app, a magic trick app. So we've done the basic bit. Now we are thinking of adding the sound control. And once we've done the sound control, then we'll be perhaps thinking about improving on the UI part of it. So again, adding it one notch further. But right now we've got the basic functional app, yeah, but we will make it more challenging and keep improving it further. So you need not start straight away, come to the next idea. You can still keep on building on the same idea, same app, keep on improving, because there's always room for improvement. So that's all I would say. If you're running short of the ideas, think about how you can improve the existing apps that you've got, because technology keeps changing, new ways are introduced, so you think how you can introduce new features to it. So that's it.
Amazing. Thank you very much, Grisham. And I think we're done with the parent session now. I really appreciate the insights you've been able to provide. And we're going to move on next to with Pranav. Right. That's an amazing session, Pranav, with your dad. I'm actually proud of your dad right there now. And I'm sure you are as well. Thank you, Gushan. So quickly, we have just two questions to go, and then we can consider some questions in the chat area. In case you have question and you're watching us right now, please do feel free to drop them. The next question here is, what was the experience like, when you were writing Microsoft certifications? I mean, I've written that certification exam, and when I wanted to write my mind was like, will I pass? Will I, And I was wondering if, as old as I am, I still feel somehow, while writing that exam. What was it like for you during your time?
So with my first exam, the PL 900, when I was preparing, I spent about 7 months, and I went through the skills measure, the skills measured in the exam document in the Microsoft Learn, covered all of those topics in the modules, attended virtual training days, other very helpful webinars as well, and then I sat the exam, gave it my all, and came out with a pass. But then in the next exam that I took, I was just really overconfident, so I just fell before the threshold. So I'd learnt my lesson, and the next time I attempted it, I breezed through the exam. So I think there's a good lesson in there. Best not to rush, but don't take too much time at the same time.
Amazing. This is word of wisdom. So it's not just lesson, it is word of wisdom. And thanks for sharing this with us. It applies not just to teenagers, not just to kids, to everyone, planning to write exam. Yes, prepare, but don't take too much time. And also don't rush, don't be overconfident. And I'm happy because you have both stories. You have stories of taking longer time to prepare and you still pass. You have stories where you with overconfidence, oh, I can always do it, and you realize, oh, I need to go back again and attempt this. And thank you for preserving those experiences, because it continues to add value, it continues to support people in their growth journey. Finally, before we move on to questions that we may have from other people, any word for kids and teens that are watching this right now, or that are still going to watch this as we continue to promote it?
Well, the main message of this entire presentation for kids is just to have fun, whatever you do with the Power Platform.
So can you repeat that?
Sorry.
I can't put this in a loop, but I want you to repeat it so so that it can be at least twice.
So yeah, so have fun. That is just main thing. It's very important. We've got, if you actually do take a career in IT, we've still got years to become IT professionals. But for the moment, we're just beginners, so have fun.
Amazing. I'm not. I don't. I don't. I'm not sure that I can give that kind of recommendations to kids and teens if I'm being asked. And meanwhile, this is really deep and insightful because, in all honesty, what matters for us is having fun. When you have fun doing it, I mean, you're definitely going to enjoy it more and more. And like you said, you still have a lot of years, to become IT professionals. So why not have fun while you're learning right now? And thank you, Pranav. I'm really grateful for the time and also to parents for honoring this invite and making sure that you are right here with us to share your experience. We have few questions, so we're going to keep this under 30 minutes the way it's going because we are 26 minutes already. Yeah, we have a lot of comments, reactions from people. We have people saying amazing kids, from Abraham. Someone saying, wow, 7 months. And someone saying fantastic ideas for parents, especially when Grishan was sharing with us about uh, how parents can really help their kids to understand and identify their interests and build solutions around it. And also, he spoke to the question, how do you generate ideas to work on, which has been addressed. And I have two more comments right here. Oh, okay, there is one. How can we connect with you, Pranav? I'm going to
Well, I've
share.
got a Twitter account, so you can follow me on Twitter, and feel free to connect with me via LinkedIn as well.
Yeah, I'm going to share your Twitter handle in the comment section quickly so that they can directly click on it and connect with you on Twitter. And yep, I see the handle. Just a minute. All right. And on LinkedIn, I'm going to share the LinkedIn invite so that LinkedIn link so that you can actually send in connection request. Good to have that you're part of this show so that it's easier for him to say, oh, you're a participant, then it's easy to connect. So I just dropped the link to the Twitter and you can check it out and follow him. That of LinkedIn will also be dropped here. Right. I see someone saying, oh, I'm writing PL 900 on the 30th of this month. We wish you all the best. And as you can see, Pranav has shared his experience with us, and we believe you're going to ace yours too. Make sure you prepare well, and I wish you all the best.
Good luck.
Finally, yeah, good luck. Thanks. How can a beginner, this is a question saying, how can a beginner start learning Power Platform? I have knowledge in Power BI. Speaking to your question here, since you already have knowledge of Power BI, I think the primary place to start is on Microsoft Learn. We have PL now the learning part that can actually introduce you to Power Platform. And I'm going to share the link on Twitter to this resource, speaking to this particular question. And after that, you can there are other courses on Udacity, for example, Power Udacity by Microsoft that actually showcase how to also start your career in Power Platform, how to use Power Apps and automate. And we also have 30 days of learning that I I and my team at Microsoft we put together sometimes this month, sometimes last month, which is for learning either data science, Power BI, or learning Power Platform. So I'm going to share the link as well, as a tweet under the announcement that we made about this show, so that you can also benefit from it. I also want to advise that you join Power Platform community in Nigeria because Okonkwo, I know you're in Nigeria. We meet every fortnight, every Saturday, twice in a month. I think there's another meeting this weekend, today by 5 p.m. So I'm going to also add a link to the Power Platform Nigeria community Twitter and do. So when you follow them, you'll be able to see links to the invite and other sessions that we'll be having. It's going to help you a lot. We have someone saying thank you for sharing your story with us, Pranav.
You're
And
very welcome.
excellent, Pranav. Yeah, a lot of positive response. Of course, that's what we expect because indeed it's been an insightful session for me, and we see this confirmation from the audience as well. I just want to encourage you, please, that do share this link. I mean, make one or two attempts to share this with people. Either on your Twitter, on your LinkedIn, you attended this session, they can stream it back because this story can really ignite a lot of interest in kids and teens all over the world, and we want to introduce them early to this technology just for them to find fun doing it. And you never can tell. They might not end up being a Power Platform developer, but the ease of use and working with these solutions is really helping them to be solution provider, helping them to find their food on time, know what works for them and what doesn't. And at the end, we want it to be something that they'll be proud that, oh, I made that investment while I was still young, and now it's adding to what I'm doing later in life. All right. We're going to be calling it a day here. And I cannot thank you enough, Pranav, and your parents for granting us the audience for today. What I'm going to do is summarize this session, have snippet of it so that I can post on LinkedIn, post on Twitter for more people to get connected and watch this session, and also the link to connect with you. So you might get a lot of connects from LinkedIn and Twitter. I would advise that they follow you well on Twitter, and also follow you on LinkedIn. Right. We've come to the end of the show. And right now, I'm going to do a 30 seconds countdown. Then we call it a day. Thank you, everyone, and bye.